Hi everybody, it's Bill here, and I'm back. I finished my Arizona Trail through hike a few weeks ago, rested and recovered, and now is the time to kind of start these things up again. And this particular episode is going to be about what's in my pack. And the reason I kind of delayed that was because I have a lot of new things, including the pack. So it was an opportunity for me to kind of get learnings to be able to share with you when I came back. The pack weight is 16 pounds with 3.5 days of food with 1 liter of water. I always carry 2 liters of water on the Arizona Trail. It's just real hot. And then every day I typically dry camp, so I'd carry 3 liters to a dry camp or 4 liters to a dry camp. So it was a little heavier just due to water, but that's because of the trail, and you really need to do that. So the pack itself, I'll go through the items and how I pack it, and I think it's helpful. Okay. First thing I want to talk about is I came up with a model in my head that really has worked, and I call it the 40-30-30 rule. And the 40-30-30 rule is 40% of the endeavor is you, the nutrition you eat, the water you drink, the hydration, how you deal with the exposure to your body, because the only time you're not exposed to the environment is when you're in your tent or when you're in town in a hotel or hostel. That wears on you. It really does. So I'm thinking 40% of the effort or energy is spent on getting that good. Another 30% is spent on your physical conditioning, just getting ready physically to do this. It's not an easy thing, really. It is. I mean, people think it is. It's not. I started out doing about 20 miles a day. I ended up doing up to 40 miles a day. So it's that kind of thing. And basically, a marathon a day is something that's a lot to ask. And most people start out much easier, lower, and that's whatever your body is able to do. And then the last 30% is equipment. So I'm talking about equipment now. And the reason why I put kind of a lower number than the body's part of it, because 70% of it is on you, right? Because you're the one hiking. Your equipment's not hiking; it's your hiking. So is that there's a lot of different great equipment out there. You can mix and match and buy whatever you want. So it's really up to you to test and try and do shakedown hikes of your equipment, and that's whatever you're going to experience, and that's what I experienced. So I'm going to share with you what's in my pack and the pack itself, okay? So this time I had a new pack, and my pack this time is a Gossamer Gear Kumo 36, and this pack right now is loaded with basically the way it would be when I'm hiking, okay? So I'm going to unload it and show you how it works for me. First thing is the front of the pack. As you can see, it's got a belt right here. This belt I used a lot. I like to, when going down hills and flats, I like to take the weight off my shoulders and put up my hips. I will say now, though, after carrying a lighter pack, that this whole part, which comes off very easily, so you've got a nice little clip here to pop it right off. You could take it off and save yourself, a couple ounces of weight. It's nice to move the weight though, especially when you're coming out, and let's say you've got 5 days of food on you because you're going through a long stretch or you get a lot of water. It's nice to move that weight around. So I'm on the edge on that. I did put my snacks in here, and water treatments, or my water filter would go in here. The other thing is that they have these up here, these slides. These are really good. One of them I had my eyeglasses in and my lip balm, SPF 15 kind of thing. I put it on my nose and my lips because that's where the sun would basically would hit it. And the other side would be my cell phone, which I used constantly because gut hooks was an absolute necessity. Okay, and that was pretty much the front of the pack. The other part of the pack is that there's this sit pad that goes into the sleeves. And the sleeves are right there, here and here, okay? And what I really liked about that, this is the upgraded version of the sit pad, and Gossamer Gear was nice enough to send me this for evaluation, and it really is awesome. The one that comes with it is this one. Slightly lighter, not a terribly lot lighter, but it doesn't have the rigidity of it. So what this pack, this does, is this basically converts a frameless pack into a much stiffer pack. In addition, when you're going to sit down and just pull it out and use it to sit down, it's because it's stiffer, it's easier to slide in and out of these sleeves. And I use this constantly. I used it for not only sitting during the day, but it was outside of my tent in my veranda. It's where I'd step in and out of my tent. I used it all the time, every day. And you know, that was an important integral part of it. It's really smart design too. On the back of it, it's flat. It's all solid, so it doesn't catch on anything and gets ripped. And then the other part is the waffles here that are rigid yet they give you airflow. It worked. I'm sold on this product. The pack itself is like 19 ounces. It's pretty rugged and pretty reliable. I'm very happy with this, and this is my go-to pack going forward. Okay. On the back, what they did, which a lot of people talk about, see this is an angle? Well, your right hand slides in while the pack's on your back. You just take your arm and you reach back. Now, what I put back here was a couple things. First thing I put back here was my GPS, okay? What I did was I found starting this in the morning while I'm packing up in a clear spot, because it needs a clear spot, clear line of sight to the sky. And then it would beep and tell me that it's connected, and I'd read it, it says it's connected. And then it's connected, I connect it to one of the loops, like here, and then I just put it in here, you know? And the antenna would be like up here, because the other stuff would be down here, like my rain jacket or my jacket. And the other thing I would reach back for all day long would be my snacks, you know? Any kind of snack I'd have, and they'd be in there. And like maybe a bag of Fritos or a bag of Gorp that you manufacture in town, or just your power bars, your protein bars, things like that. And then the other thing I had in here was my toilet kit, and this is Monostat 7, this purple thing right here. I used it right away once it started getting hot. I just started getting irritated in a lot of areas, and then a little bit of Camp Soap or Purell, and baby wipes. Well, these are hand wipes, but they were biodegradable. But I would give myself little showers, you know, wipe showers every day, because your legs get filthy and you get dirty, and you're out there for 5 days. So a 20 pack would pretty much, I'd go through a 20 pack. It's heavier than toilet paper, but it serves a lot of purposes, and I really enjoyed it. It's something I never did before. I always had toilet paper and not this. I made the change. I'm happy with it. It does add a little bit of weight. However, one wipe I would use for my face and my hands and my feet. Another wipe I'd use for my under my belly button area and my feet and my legs, and that was 2 wipes a day. And then I just chuck them in my garbage bag, and then I'd throw them away in town. And if I needed some for toilet paper, I would use the dirty ones for toilet paper the next morning if I needed it, because they're biodegradable. Okay. The next thing is on the outside. Is over here. There's these kind of pockets. These are big pockets. You can fit 2 smart water bottles here. Bang bang. Okay. And there's one on each side right here. Bang bang. Right. And they worked great. I actually did that a few times, because on one of them I'd have a 2-liter Sawyer dirty water bag filled, and the other side I'd have the water bottle, just 2 smart water bottles, smart water bottles, and that was really helpful and good. And I would recommend doing that. I can carry 4 liters. It was equally balanced on left and right side, because you don't want to be off balance when you're hiking, because that can mess you up too. Okay. Now on the top there's this little zipper area right here, which a lot of people say they don't do much with, because you see how tight it is in there. What I put in here was my electrolytes. Okay. And I put in, if I wasn't using my water filter, you know, first thing when I started town, and at least one of my water bottles was always clean water, and the other one always had a filter on it. This is the Hydro Blue. I'm going to do a separate video on all the details of lessons learned. This was a new filter for me, lessons learned on this one. I'll bring that up when I talk about that, okay? So that, I felt it was good to put all my water things up here. The other thing is that this area gets very hot. The sun just bangs down on it. So if you put like food up in here, it's gonna get soft, and that's not always very pleasant. Okay, so you don't want that. All right. Now, when you open it, there's 2 buckles. There's also these D-rings right here. I actually had a solar panel right over here, which I attached to these D-rings right here on either side with S carabiners. That worked very well. The panel didn't work real well, but the connection worked well. Okay. So now when you open it, you can see it's quite large, because now I've got a larger area to work with, right? And there were times where this was like this all the way up here when I had a lot of food in it. So the way I pack my pack is, the first thing I do is have my tent in there, and this is the Big Agnes Fly Creek UL1 HV, okay? And then on this, and underneath that is where everything else is. That's the only thing I don't put in a pack liner. And this is the Gossamer Gear 26 liter pack liner. It comes, you buy it with it. I brought it with the pack. This was awesome. What I did on the outside of the pack liner versus my gear was where I slid in my tent poles. Because between the pack and the pack liner, you know, this stuff is, you're going to slide this. So you don't want to get it caught on your sleeping bag or anything. Because it can be, you know, you have trekking, you know, you might have your stakes in here and things like that. So that was really helpful to slide it in there. It was just easy, and it was always there, and I knew exactly where it is. Again, everything in your pack has a place and a purpose. So if it does, then you notice if it's gone or missing, right? That's one of the benefits of doing that. The next thing after that, I usually have what I consider my medical kit, but it's also, this is my medical kit, my electrics, everything that I would need kind of during the day, like power packs. All that stuff is in here. I like to have it on top because if I need, for medical purposes, if I need something, but also if I, you know, I'm taking a break and I want to charge my phone, I just pop it out while I'm taking a break, plug it in, charge my phone for a bit, and then I'm off. Simple as that, right? The next thing would be, typically, is my clothes bag. And all I have in my clothes bag is my smart wool to sleep in, a pair of socks to sleep in. I was carrying a beanie, but I got rid of that, and I used a buff because I was wearing a jacket with a hood, and I was fine with just a buff, and a pair of gloves. That's it. That's my extra clothes right there. Really not a lot, right? It's pretty good. And then it's food. So I have my sleeping bag, my food, and then what I just showed you. And this is an Orsak. Orsak is this company right here. Okay, they have it's a Ziploc on top, and it's for odors. There's no place to really hang your stuff in Arizona, so the zip part of the Ziploc, after 200 miles, just broke right off. So all I had to do is I folded it like this, but that's basically you know, what I would use that. And I have a whole new cook system that I'll talk about too. And then underneath that is where my sleeping bag was, or my sleeping gear stuff. So this is a Thermarest Neo Air, regular. This thing, awesome. I could tell when I was laying in my back, I was totally comfortable and warm. And one on my side, my shoulder or my butt would get cold. It was like bang, like that. It was just phenomenal. So an insulated pad is not luxury. It's a requirement, even in a warm place. And the nights in the desert, it gets cold. I had several snowstorms that I went through. Okay. Climate pad. This is a pillow, but also a sit pad. I've talked about this before. Well worth the 2 ounces. There's another thing in here which I ended up having shipped to me. I didn't have it started with, but I was getting cold. Which is my silk liner. It's a 5 ounce from Cocoon. This thing, again, I wouldn't do without it. And then my sleeping bag, which is inside my liner, bag liner, right here, which is the Neo Salsa 30-degree bag. I would go down to a 10. You know, 30 degrees was fine. I thought it'd be great. But you know, 30 degrees doesn't mean you're comfortable. It just means you're going to make it till tomorrow morning. So if you're a cold sleeper like me, I'm going to upgrade to like a 10-degree bag, or and just go there. Because once you get to the elevations of 9,000 feet or 7,000 feet and higher, at nighttime it gets below 30 even in the warm. It might be 82 degrees during the day, and at nighttime it's 30. It's that big a drastic a difference. Okay, so that's that. And then the liner I told you about, and so that's what's in my pack. It's pretty simple, as you saw, but you know, it's comfortable. I like to stay clean and dry, and I like to be well fed. So go through that and other videos. But if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. You know, like it, subscribe. It's all good. I would ask you, if you have comments, make them constructive and positive, so I can answer them and we can all learn from them. Okay? Thanks. Bye.